Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Just getting everything connected up for some real early morning work. I think my barn just finished, so it's good timing popping in this morning. It's not this early. Again, I was coming in to do server sync. I'm going to be moving at about 4.5 hours, but I need to, before I do that, I need to get a load of hay into the cow barn or they're going to start losing health. So it seems, 4 months maybe is what I can go 4 days without any kind of issue. Just trying to see where I need to turn on the trees when I come through. But I had delivered most of the milk I had, and the slurry had been emptied, I think, more than 4 days ago, so the slurry's been taking a little longer to get up there, but they're both nearly full, so I'm going to be doing that work today. And I've been starting to kind of think, as you can see, we're getting close to the next year and figuring out, okay, am I going to do something, or am I going to take it easy for another season? And I'm thinking I really need to get going on something, or it's just going to get to be too much of a habit. And then, because realistically, I'm kind of going to be in between, running up to the Thanksgiving holiday, and then there'll be another reason to, maybe not do whatever. So if nothing else, I should stay busy this coming year, and then maybe next year something else. So now that we have hay, let's get ourselves over. So we'll hop back here, now we'll figure out what we really need to do here. Okay, so yeah, milk's over 100. Slurry's right up there against the 450 max. Milk will go to 110 before it gets full, but I can get 2 loads out, probably get them sold. So again, silage pretty low, straw, mineral feed. Still have never put mineral feed in again. I'm hoping against hope that I won't need to, but there's really nothing. I mean, we're not even to the next date when they said they would probably give us something. I'm still 5 days away when we might get some more information on when our map swap might be coming up. But in the meantime, I'm trying to at least keep things muddling along, which is kind of the issue. So let's see. So if I do, say, 40,000, 45,000 more of hay, and then, let's say 30,000 of straw. So those will be my 2 loads, and then a full load of silage. So got a little bit here to go on. But yeah, this is definitely, now that, again, there's been the decision made to change the server over, it's just kind of a foolish thing to invest money and then, suddenly have to, for the most part, throw it away, if I start putting in new buildings and things like that. Alright, let me stop there. I don't have, I suppose I can come back to here and dump it again, but I don't have the ability to really leave it in the trailer, is what I was struggling to vocalize there. Because I need to do other things, as we saw. I need, 30,000 of straw and so forth. I may be too far away here. I hope not. Let's see. I was wondering. I was like, oh, I think now I did go a little too far. There we go. Stop. Because again, then what is going on? Why does it keep rolling? I don't understand. Alright. Wow. Never had that happen. That's kind of weird, where it just keeps rolling along. Alright, so 30,000 of straw, full load of silage, and then we'll reassess if that'll be it, or if I go off to start my deliveries. And once again, I've been delivering the milk in-game, just because it's easier than putting out contracts right now. You know, not that it's so challenging to put out a contract, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast here. So, just paying attention to my straw. Alright, that should hopefully be good, because I know I think 30,000 would have gotten me to 94, so this should get me to 96, 97, depending on, you know, what the deal was, but either way, it should take it. And then, you know, once again, we're down to, I think, like 40,000 of silage, but silage can take 120 versus 100, so. And yeah, I definitely, I guess, am feeling better about the cow barn, because we have been now at 240 for quite some time with the cows. Things are moving, and you know, everything's, they're getting fed is the piece, where I was worried that, wow, once we got to 240, because there was already a drain, that we would have something significant going on, and that they would eventually be out of food and we'd have to supplement. But that doesn't appear to be the case, so at least kudos to perhaps pure luck. Or maybe there was a plan or something that the modder did that at least kept things from having the wheels fall off the bus entirely. So again, maybe they did try it and determined, well, it floats around. You know, let's see, what is it? Food, where's... Oh, well, no, we're at 48,000, so it actually is drifting down a bit. Unless it's possible I had run out of hay, it wasn't producing food, and they were eating what was there and depleting it. So I guess actually I'm going to need to relook at it again, because I hadn't looked at the food situation. I just saw that the animals were still at 100% productivity, so I'm like, oh, they must have just run out. But maybe that is inaccurate. Maybe they had run out a while ago, and the 90,000 liter capacity that was there was able to keep them going. Alright, so this will, at a minimum, get all 3 piles pretty nice and large, so that there will be plenty for the robot feeder to gather. Alright, so let's see. And again, I could put another 30 in, but if I'm going to be in here in March or April to go ahead and do something, I can probably worry about that then and just do it as part of normal work. Kind of top things off, feed them some more. Have not done any more grass work. Like there's been nothing you've missed. It really has been just the 2 times into the server to do things. You may have missed me selling the silage and the milk in between, which I think did involve me topping off the food as well. So, but it's all been cow work, so there hasn't been anything that I've done off camera without letting you know that has anything to do with anything but cows. And that's kind of one of the nice things is, you know, you can, the farm stays active because animals need attention. But this has turned out to not be nearly as bad as I had been concerned with when I was, you know, kind of the mindset of, well, do I really want to make this switch from pigs to cows, because is it going to be overwhelming? But if nothing else, before we head over to Hobo's Hollow, this has certainly given me the comfort level. Like, yeah, this is doable with my real life schedules and so forth. This doesn't become an undue burden that will suddenly take away from the fun of running the farm. So, slurry I never have to check the price on, because there's only one place in town that takes slurry, and that is PV Mart. Just trying to be careful that I don't jackknife. I've seemed to have had that problem, is that I just struggle with driving the truck, and part of it could be because I haven't been in. You know, last time I was in was August. So as I said, I think I may have done that stuff off camera, but it was just cow work and basically getting rid of the fact that the barn was getting full with milk and silage. I think maybe even silage I had left at that point, because I had emptied down to like 150,000 liters at one point, and I'll probably do the same thing here again. I won't hold you with me that long, because then it's probably going to take me 40-50 minutes to do all these runs. So we'll just chat a little bit longer, and again, we'll call this kind of an update episode, and then spring will be next. But yeah, we're getting close to the Platinum expansion release, so that is happening in a few days. So other than anything that is like inserted that we can't remove, there would be no impact to FSN, because it's not like they've said, hey, if anyone wants to go to the Silver Run Forest map, we'll add that or anything like that. So and I'm not sure if there was anything like that in FS19, as I think about it, where they had introduced a map that in essence was, you know, part of a DLC that required you to have something that they couldn't use all the maps unless you were a DLC server, basically. But maybe they had, and I just wasn't aware, because the things I was playing on with FS19 and FSN were maps that were mod maps that had come on. So alright, so I did not hit the brakes. Figured I'll let myself coast and see if that works. But yeah, between selling the milk and selling the slurry, even with the daily down tick, so I don't think I had gotten up to 2.3 million, but obviously I was a little bit higher, because there is daily maintenance that still is charged to the farm, just as normal. Wow. I think my previous loads of slurry had been like 1,400, so it's a $400 premium on that, which is 30%, so it's not bad. So if I can make more from liquid manure, that would be really nice. So I did just have the cattle episode where I started cows finally air on the channel. So if you can think back to how long ago that was, that's how far ahead I am. But I was basically putting in the cow barns. Like, I still don't have cows in, but I'm just starting to build out the infrastructure. Those are the episodes that are showing up. I'm getting close to having the cows ready to go, but they're not there yet. And so I had someone give me a very detailed, wonderful set of information about cattle, and they gave me some information I wasn't aware of. However, I think I'm going to forego the little bit benefit I'm going to get from the fact that I just don't want to be dealing with a manure heap and so forth. But I guess if you give the cows straw and then, they produce manure from that, there's like a 15% bump in milk production if you do that versus if we're doing what we're doing. So I guess, I don't know if the cows are happier, it's their emotional health, and so therefore they're more productive, or what it is with straw versus, I suppose, the idea is, well, without straw, they're just kind of laying down in mud, and maybe they're just less happy. Maybe they're more hygienic of an animal than other kinds, and so their mental well-being suffers if they don't have straw. I don't know why there's a bigger production, or, it could be nothing more than, hey, it's the game dynamic giants created, and, oh, well, I'm doing milk now. I wasn't planning on it, but let me see where I'm taking it. Alright, so yeah, this is actually not bad, because usually the best I can do offline is in the 700s. Again, we don't get the precision farming environmental score boost with milk, but Grocery Mart is still my best spot. Yeah, so it's similar. I could get 782 if I was to sell it through direct sell through FSN instead of 700, but $80 a thousand, while it's not nothing, I'd get $4,000 or $5,000 more per truckload, I think. So it's going to be less than a $10,000 difference, and I'll just sell it at Grocery Mart, because that way I can kind of not have to deal with the logistics, just the mechanics of taking care of things, because basically, I have to go on the site then, create a contract, wait for it to be fulfilled, which then gives me money, which then I'm technically trying to find a home for, and at this point, there's been enough bankers in. I'm kind of at both sides. I've got so much in banks. You don't really earn interest beyond $1 million at any given bank. So kind of once I get close to that $1 million threshold, I usually start depositing at another bank. And then people have been dropping out of doing banks. So I'm not sure whose header trailer that is sitting in field 1. I just noticed there in my headlights as I swung around. It's not showing up on the map, but that's probably because I don't have trailers turned on, because that's just a lot of stuff usually all over the place. It was kind of off for the map, and I've just usually left it off unless I'm specifically looking for something. Now I don't remember what I was talking about with stuff. Anyway, the milk sale price. So rather, and then I have to move the money, find a home for it, and so forth, and it's just extra things that I need to worry about. Where here, if I just sell it, the money gets added to my pool, and when we finally move, this pool of money just moves, and so it's simpler. Because I think I'm actually out of banks, with people dropping out of banking to put them into and gain any interest. So I would just basically be overloading banks over $1 million and not making any interest on it. So I could just not make any interest on the money here as it sits. So so that's the plan, but that will be, that'll be good, because overall I'm, probably going to be in a similar spot to where I was when I started here on Shellbrook, where I'm going to be at 10 million plus maybe in money that I can spend to set up my new operation, and I would hope I don't need. Whoops, hold on. I don't want to sell here. I want to sell at the grocery, because this guy's only giving me like $6.50. Oi. Can't take me anywhere. Alright, there. It's just back there. So not too bad. I just, like I said, on my brain I was delivering slurry, but then Even though I was doing slurry, my brain took me to the milk point. So, just a little off. But anyway, so we got 4,000 there. And now we'll see what we get in the remainder here. But, 700 per thousand is certainly not bad. But we're over 2.3 million, and obviously we'll be kind of well over that. So another 34, so basically almost 40,000 for that load, which obviously makes sense. We're getting basically 70 cents on per liter, so if I got 50,000, basically 70% of that is what I'm going to get, is kind of what it's running at. And once again, obviously it looks like the price is rising, so it could go up if I waited till later in the day, but once again, you're chasing dollars then, as opposed to, because again, keep in mind that's $1 or $2 that it goes up every hour, and that's per 1,000 liters. So you're truly chasing pennies, because you're going to get $1 spread over 1,000. You're not even going to get a penny extra per liter. You're going to get 1/10 of a cent at that point. So it does not make a lot of sense to worry about it. You just go ahead and deliver it. And once again, I'm at the point where I'm very much a self-sustaining farm, so it's not as if I'm scrapping to avoid bankruptcy or something. So I do not need to be greedy, is my point. I don't always need to maximize the income. Sometimes I can say, I'm not direct selling, I'm delivering to the local residents of Shellbrook. I was going to say Saskatchewan, which wouldn't be entirely incorrect, and it probably isn't incorrect, because what I don't know is the population of Shellbrook, and, can they use 100,000 liters of milk every 4 months? Or are there not enough residents to really drink that? And we are supplying it to Greater Saskatchewan or Greater Canada, whatever it is. Now, at this point, I will just get the rest of the milk, and then I'll be done. And then everything else will be slurry. So yeah, but it was definitely good to have the break and step away, just because, as I said, the last 2 days, I thought I was filling. I hit the button, that's for sure, but maybe since I was moving, somehow it started but stopped immediately. The last 2 days I've really been unable, or just not felt like doing anything. So again, that would have been November and October, which was exactly what I felt. So those would have been my 2 harvest days, and I would have been a reluctant farmer if I was on here at that point. So that was kind of my logic and my feeling. I hadn't looked specifically what months it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be right around that harvest window, and it was smack dab in the harvest window. So I definitely don't feel that the decision to let the farm lie fallow for a year was a bad one. I think it was absolutely the right one for what I needed to do. My concern is, there's a little bit, and it's just the fact that we're getting into the real holidays and real life, and everything just tends to get a little more involved. There's more stuff happening, and I spent a good part of yesterday running errands, for example, and this time of year, lots of places are closed for the holidays, as they should be, so that their workers can enjoy the holiday just like we will. And but then that means you've got to squeeze whatever needs to happen into the days when it can happen. And so it was that kind of stuff that I knew was going to be happening that made me think, well, even though in theory I'm officially unable to touch the computer one day, that it would likely turn into 2, which is really what it was, because then I'd be doing some catch-up from things that might have happened that other day and had been spread across, and instead they would be put into one bucket. So, but then what I was saying is, then my concern is it's a little too much of, yeah, maybe I don't want to do it again. Like there's less excitement about jumping back in, but I know it's related to the fact that in the back of my mind there's still that low-level stress of, I just got a lot on my plate right now. So, but I did get rid of one thing. Oop, excuse me for yawning there. I got rid of one obligation that was keeping me pretty busy for several weeks. So that's nice. That's wrapped up. Yeah, I might get a new request coming in to do that work in the future, but sometimes it's months and months between, and sometimes it comes right away. So, but for now, other than tidying up a couple things, I'm done with that. So that was something that was taking a couple hours every day that now isn't on my plate. So, you know, it's the dynamic will change as well. So I know that, and that's why I'm like, again, I don't have to go overboard. I don't have to go crazy with stuff. Even, let's say, the precision farming said I needed lime to really maximize things. I could just make the decision and say, you know what, I'm not going to do that work this time. But I don't think I would, because spreading and liming is pretty fast. And again, I think I've got a full... Oh no, I think I got rid of the silo. That's right. I emptied it and used all the lime that, because I was going to say I've got a full silo of lime I need to use, but no, I think I had already removed that from the farm, because I was like, well, the 70,000 liter auger wagon is big enough that versus having a 110,000 liter silo on the farm, I don't need to worry about that. So, all right, so there we go. As I said, about 40,000. All right, so I think that certainly gets you well enough along. As always, certainly, you know, I'm actually pretty bad at reminding people, you know, please like the videos, please subscribe. You know, it helps get the reach out, it helps the channel expand. Kind of slowly creeping to 1,000 subscribers, which is the next major milestone. You know, would love to get there, and I think once we get there, I think YouTube really looks at the channel significantly differently than it does per, you know, at any of the sub 1,000 subscriber channels. So I think that would just get more folks involved and kind of increase and, you know, hopefully get us to the point where we got a nice active community. I do think some of the folks, I've got a handful of folks who've joined the new Discord that I put up. Might be a month ago at this point. Again, not really any chatter going on. People have just joined. I'm going ahead, you know, if I have something to say there, I do. You know, so I've updated the schedule, for example, of what I think I'm doing with the channel now. I've definitely made the decision that, yeah, I'm gonna step away at least, if not completely be done with the survival challenge. In its place, I'm putting the VIP series that has been on Wednesday afternoons, so there will not be 2 videos posting on Wednesday anymore. So that'll clean things up, and then I've kind of got the random slot. The times are still the same, basically every 4 days. But instead of that being fully filled with train simulator, you know, I'm doing other things, and right now not doing any train simulator for it. But you know, that can change, that can trickle back in, and a lot of that comes from folks' comments and so forth. So if you let me know what is interesting to you outside of other things, and obviously, you know, maybe doing that on videos that are of interest, like if you want hey, keep doing a lot of activity on Train Simulator. That most people would probably put that on a Train Simulator video, but I read all the comments, so if it shows up on this video, that's fine. I mean, I'll see it. So, but yeah, I want to do what folks would like to see, certainly within what I'm willing to do. Always willing to pivot a bit, but so that's really the only post I had, is I've created a pinned post of, in essence, the channel calendar that I'll keep updated, and as my publishing changes, so will that pinned post. But the Discord is going to give you the way to see that, so if you haven't joined that, go ahead and join that. And once again, between the likes and subscribes, growing the channel, the amount of people involved grows, and then we can hopefully turn into a nice, vibrant community talking about Sims and whatever else we're going to talk about. So I appreciate you sticking around here. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.